I'm sure you see the headlines every week, stories about generative AI just, completely disrupting entire industries.
Oh, constantly.
Professionals, we're talking journalists, copywriters, even software developers, they're suddenly facing this very real possibility that their job could be automated.
Yeah.
It gives you a bit of professional anxiety.
It does, but that anxiety, I think, it comes from a deep misunderstanding of what AI actually is. Most people see it as a substitute for a human.
A rival.
Exactly. But we argue AI isn't your rival. It's more like the most sophisticated musical instrument ever created.
I love that analogy. Because when you think about it, this instrument has every key, every string, every sound imaginable built right in.
Yeah.
But without the musician.
Without you, the human.
It's just silent chips and wires.
Yeah.
It needs you to interpret the music, to breathe soul into it.
Precisely. And our mission in this deep dive is to explore how we move past just using AI and instead learn how to really dominate it. We want to make you the conductor of this powerful digital symphony.
So we've gone through all the research, and we boiled it down to achieve 3 critical things for you today.
First, we need to completely demystify AI. We have to get past this idea of it being some kind of magic box that can think. It's a tool, a powerful but predictable tool with limits and potential that only we can unlock.
Right. And second, we are going to identify and really develop the 5 core human competencies. These are the skills that aren't becoming obsolete. In fact, they are exponentially more valuable today than they were a year ago.
And third, we're going to give you a practical framework. It doesn't matter if you're in marketing, finance, engineering. You'll know exactly how to apply these 5 skills immediately.
By the end of this conversation, you will know how to formulate strategic questions to get high-value answers. You'll understand why your ability to verify information is your most powerful digital shield. And, most importantly, you'll discover why your unique experience is the secret ingredient the AI just cannot replicate.
So let's start with that conversation. Skill number 1, mastery in question formulation.
Or, as we call it, the art of strategic prompting.
Yes.
The common error we see all the time is people treating the AI like a basic Google search. They just type in a few words, like write an essay on climate change.
And then they're shocked when they get back something bland and generic.
Of course they do.
Right. If you approach an instrument by just banging on random keys, you get noise. The real skill here isn't just knowing how to type, it's knowing how to think. A strategic prompter doesn't just give an order. They're designing a detailed, precise context. It's like writing a high-stakes brief for a very fast, very literal human collaborator.
And what's fascinating is that the technical research backs this up completely. Studies in human-computer interaction HCI, they show a direct correlation between the quality of the input, so its specificity and structure, and the quality of the output.
There was a big OpenAI study on GPT-3. It showed that when prompts included details like the role, the audience, the format, and the tone,
The relevance just shot up.
exponentially. It proved the AI is only as smart as the prompt it gets.
So how do we apply this? We use what we call the prompt in layers technique. It's not just saying cook pasta.
That's too generic.
It's saying prepare authentic Roman carbonara. Use guanciale, not bacon, and make sure the eggs don't scramble for 2 foodies who hate black pepper.
That's the level you need. We break it down into 4 layers. Layer 1 is the role. You tell the AI who to be. Act as a medieval Spanish literature professor.
Layer 2, the task, the core challenge. Write a comparative analysis between El Cantar del Mio Cid and a modern hero like Jon Snow from Game of Thrones.
Layer 3, the format and audience. Script this for a 10-minute YouTube video. The audience is teenagers, so make the tone dynamic and engaging.
In layer 4, this is key, the restrictions. Don't exceed 1,200 words, include 3 specific examples of betrayal, and avoid overly academic language. That level of constraint is what turns a rough draft into something you can actually use.
And that transition is so important because once you master the question, you start demanding high-quality output. But the better the answer looks, the more dangerous it is if it's wrong.
Which brings us to skill number 2.
Critical thinking and digital literacy.
Absolutely. The better the instrument sounds, the more we want to just trust the music completely. But this is where AI's core flaw comes in. Hallucinations.
It just invents things.
With complete conviction. It will cite studies that don't exist, facts that are just plain wrong, and build these plausible-sounding arguments that are totally fabricated.
And that's why the human editor is indispensable. You have to be the editor-in-chief for everything the AI produces. The speed is intoxicating, but blind trust is just. It's incredibly dangerous.
Okay, but let me pose a challenge here. If I ask the AI to summarize complex legal research and it cites a false case, how am I, a non-lawyer, supposed to know that without spending hours doing the research myself?
That is a fair point. And this is where critical thinking is less about being an expert in the subject and more about being an expert in analysis. A key article in the journal Nature warned about this exact thing, about serious errors spreading through academia because of blind trust.
So it's not about knowing the answer, it's about knowing how to check the answer.
Exactly. It's about your ability to identify, evaluate, and use information responsibly.
So we formalize that with the rule of 3 sources. First, verify. Never, ever assume a fact is accurate, especially if it sounds a little too perfect. Search trusted, independent sources to confirm it.
Second, contextualize. You have to ask yourself, what perspective is missing here? Or what bias might be in the data this was trained on? Always check for those hidden assumptions.
And third, craft the logic. Break down the argument. Are the premises solid? Do they actually lead to the conclusion? The AI is your brilliant assistant, but you're the boss. You sign off on the work. You are the final conductor.
That emphasis on rigor really sets the stage for our next section, which is all about growth and adaptability. That brings us to skill number 3, insatiable curiosity and continuous learning.
The pace of change here is just breakneck.
Yeah.
If you master the main tool today, 5 new game-changing tools could pop up next week. That capacity to relearn is now so much more valuable than static knowledge.
That shift in value is crucial. The skill isn't knowing one prompt today. It's cultivating the appetite to explore new tech, new applications. We have to use AI not just to save time on our current tasks, but to discover entirely new territories.
This is fundamental. The OECD's lifelong learning theory points to this. It says curiosity and adaptability are core competencies for employability in the 21st century. If you stagnate...
You become the musician whose instrument is suddenly obsolete.
Exactly. So how do we make curiosity a habit?
We suggest implementing something we call the discovery diet.
You can start small. Dedicate just 15 minutes a day to exploring a new AI application, but in a field that's outside of your own. If you're in finance, see what designers are doing with generative video.
That cross-pollination sparks new ideas. And use the AI to ask what-if questions. Don't just ask it to summarize a meeting. Ask it, what if we combined our service with augmented reality? Force it to take you somewhere new.
And above all, you have to embrace experimentation. Play with these tools in a safe space. Curiosity and experimentation are linked. You need the courage to fail a bit to discover that next big thing.
And that need for courage and exploration brings us right to skill number 4, which is, I think, the heart of the human advantage: contextual and emotional intelligence.
The irreplaceable human touch.
Yes.
An AI can analyze a spreadsheet, find correlations, but it doesn't feel the office on a Monday morning. It can't read the subtext of a glance in a tense meeting or understand the unwritten culture of a company. That is contextual intelligence.
And you have to pair that with emotional intelligence, your ability to understand the needs, the fears, the hopes of the people you're dealing with. An AI can draft a layoff email.
But you decide the tone. Should it be compassionate, strictly formal? You make that call.
Right. We often think of the work by psychologist Daniel Goleman. He suggests that IQ and technical skills, they're just the entry thresholds for a job.
The ticket to the game.
Exactly. But it's the emotional competencies, empathy, self-regulation, social skills that determine long-term success. AI has no empathy. We provide that. That's the differentiator.
The machine handles the data, but the human provides the interpretation and the emotional weight to make it effective.
So we use a technique called human processing. Let the AI generate a draft of a difficult message. But don't send it. Read it out loud. Ask yourself, does this sound like me? Does it capture the specific emotion I need to convey to this person?
And you adjust it. You humanize it.
Your unique life experience, your successes, your failures, your entire background, that's pure context. That's your insurmountable advantage. It's the signature only the conductor can provide.
Which leads us directly into our 5th and final skill, the one that governs all the others: applied ethics and responsibility.
This is such a critical distinction. AI is an amoral amplifier. It's a tool that can be used to create life-saving medicine or to design disinformation campaigns that destabilize a country. It has no internal value system.
The moral rudder is entirely inescapably on us.
100%. So the skill becomes assuming ultimate responsibility for everything you create or distribute using AI. If you ignore these moral principles, you, the operator, become dangerous.
And the field of AI ethics is expanding so rapidly. Organizations like the Future of Life Institute, the European Commission, they're all publishing these crucial frameworks. They stress principles like equity, transparency, accountability, and privacy. You have to know them.
Ignoring them introduces catastrophic risk.
So before you publish anything, you need a quick check. We call it the ethical checklist. First, check for biases. Is the AI output perpetuating stereotypes about gender, race, culture?
Second, check privacy. Have you input any personal data, yours or someone else's, that you shouldn't have?
Third, transparency. Should you disclose that you used AI in this work? What's the audience expectation?
And most critically, check the impact. What are the possible negative consequences if this gets out? Who specifically could be harmed by this information?
At the end of the day, the final signature on the work belongs to you. The AI is just the paintbrush you chose to use. You're accountable for the final painting.
So, to summarize, we've covered the 5 skills that transform you from a passive user into an architect of the future. The art of asking, critical thinking, insatiable curiosity, contextual and emotional intelligence, and finally, applied ethics.
And the ultimate message here is clear. AI won't take jobs from people. It will take jobs from people who don't know how to work with AI. By mastering these skills, you enter a powerful duet with this technology, freeing you up for the deeply human work of connecting, creating, and applying real meaning.
And while we are empowered, we do have to acknowledge 3 big obstacles still ahead of us. First, the skills gap. There's a real risk of creating a new social divide between the AI literate and everyone else. We have to close that gap.
Second, over-reliance. This is an insidious one. It's the danger of letting our own critical thinking skills atrophy because the AI is thinking for us. If you start practicing verification, that muscle gets weak.
And finally, regulation and the unknown. The legal and ethical frameworks are always playing catch-up with the technology. We have to be the moral vanguard.
The path forward relies on the very skills we've talked about today. Critical thinking, curiosity, ethics. So here's your challenge for the week.
Yeah.
Choose one of these 5 human abilities. Just one. And actively practice it this week with any AI tool you use.
Don't just ask a question. Design the perfect prompt. Don't just accept an answer. Verify one of its sources. Focus on that one skill and become a better conductor. We look forward to seeing the results you create.